Live. And we are live for another episode of the Ask Willie and Eugene weekly business show. Welcome, guys. Welcome to another episode of the show. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for joining the weekly show, coming live every Thursday at 4 p.m., streaming to Facebook and YouTube. Willie, maybe just give any of the new viewers, if you are new, just pop in the comments. Hey, guys, first time, whatever. And just for the new guys, what is EHQ about? Where did the show get started?
Okay, Eugene, thanks so much. So for everyone that's new to the show, so this is kind of the give back project that myself and Eugene started a year ago. Went into lockdown, didn't have anything to do. So we decided we're going to start our business show. And yeah, that's how the weekly business show started. And we've actually had more than 50 episodes by now. Something that we've been doing consistently. And guys, the reason for this project is to give back to small business owners, and we firmly believe that you can learn from guys that's actually made it in the business world. So today is nothing, it's no different than the previous times. Got an amazing giant on today. But yeah, for the guys that wants to join our mastermind, below this video, there's a link to our mastermind where we help guys to actually also take their businesses online. But yeah, Eugene, without further ado, could you introduce our giant for this week?
Before I do, I just want to let the guys know that you can also view our previous shows. If you just scroll down our page, you can view that. We are busy uploading everything to our website, so on entrepreneurhq.co.za. At the top, you'll see a link for business show. If you want to go view some of our previous business shows, and that was before we had it on YouTube and Facebook. I think, Willie, this is our 5th or 6th episode that we're doing on Facebook. Previously, we used Webinar Jam. So,
but the time goes so fast, man. We've probably been doing this for more than 2 months already. So we've been doing it for a much longer time. Maybe we can't count the first few ones, which we did, because we had a few blunders. But hey, man, that's how business and life goes.
Yeah. And I think that's part of our stuff, is we kind of just do things. We found this new tech and we started using it, and the first few times was a bit of a flop. Don't judge us.
Yeah.
So today's giant, guys, just an amazing lady, woman in entrepreneurship, Annerie. And she's been tremendously successful in business. They've got a attorney practice, real estate company, bond originator company, multiple teams, multiple businesses. We talk about it quite often. It's not multiple streams of income, it's multiple teams of income. And Annerie has successfully done that. So really cool person to get on the show today. Lots that you can learn from her. Keep your mind open, listen. You can't take in new information if your mind is closed. So listen and see what's one thing that you can learn. What's the one thing that stands out for you? And then, as Willie mentioned, we've got, for the guys that do want to take it a bit further, we've got a mastermind that myself and Willie run that we basically implement all the stuff that we learn from the giant. So if you do want to join our mastermind, there's the link below. Click on it or type it into your URL, visit our website. And then remember, there's other guys that want to start their businesses that can learn from this. So remember to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and then share this. Like our page on Facebook, and then share this link so that other people can learn from it as well. So, Willie, I think let's get Annerie in the room so we can chat to our giants of today.
The crowd goes wild.
Hi, guys.
What's up,
Welcome
Annerie?
to the show, Annerie.
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. I'm cold, but I'm good. Thank you.
Cool stuff, Annerie. So before we get into some of the nittier, grittier questions, just quickly give a background or brief overview of Annerie and where your journey started.
Well, I've been attorney almost now 11 years. I actually didn't know what I wanted to do after matric. So my father was quite strict about we have to go to study. So I did a BI degree. I enjoyed it, but I realized that's not what I wanted to do. I needed a challenge. I needed something that can change the world. So I did my BA year, and then I decided to go over to LLB. and I started doing that. I finished my degree. I then did my articles with a very great attorneys firm. I'm still good friends with my previous principal. And yes, and I got pregnant, and then I decided, well, I want to do this myself. Yes, as we do. And I realized at that stage, I always say I don't know what came over me, but yes, so I got married in 2007. I got pregnant in 2009. But that wasn't all of it. So in 2009, in September 2009, when my son was born, I started my own practice. But that is when the recession hit South Africa.
Oh, goodness.
Yes. But that's the normal flow of things. But then my husband was a financial advisor. Things didn't go well, and I got frustrated because I had work. I literally started, I didn't have money for a desk. So I literally had like a wood thing against the wall. I had like incredible connection, that combo deal of 5,000 Rand, computer and printer, fantastic. That's when the student started. But then my husband decided, I got frustrated. I must tell you, it was a difficult time for me because running the practice, well, it wasn't a practice, a one-man show. And I had my firstborn, and I didn't cope. It was quite difficult for me. And I was frustrated because my husband, obviously with the financial advising recession. So I said to him I usually say in a moment of drunkenness, but I wasn't drunk. I said, what do you want to do? Because I need help, because this is not working. Because I would look down the hall and I would see my son in the jolly jumper sleeping, because I struggled. It was really a big struggle. So my husband said to me, but I want to study law. And it was like, I was quite taken back, and it was like, what? Are you sure? And I don't know, again, another moment, probably had another 5 tequilas, but I said to him, well, if you're going to do this, you're going to do it full time. Because I said to him, I do take my hat off for people that do work and study. Yeah. I really do. I think it's phenomenal, but I do. But I said, I don't have time for you to work and study, because it does tend to take a little bit longer. So that's where the massive thing started. So my husband in 2010 signed up for his law degree, his LLB. And yes, I was the sole provider for 4 years while he was doing his degree. No, it was difficult. I must tell you that it was difficult. In between that 4 years, we had 4 children.
Yeah. I guess he wasn't studying as much as he was
doing. Exactly. But it was quite funny, because he would go out and he would swipe the card, and then he would phone me. He's like, but the card is declining. Would I please just put money in? And I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So that was a very difficult time in our marriage, in business. Business was doing well. But that was where the one-man show started, because it's about bullshit baffles brains. I'm sorry, I don't know if I can say that, but I had people, they would phone and they would say, listen, can I speak to the accounts department? And I was obviously reception and everything, and I would phone and say, yeah, no problem, this is all on for me, and I would put the phone down and just change my voice. So that was quite a difficult part. Really? Yes. You say you have a question.
Yeah, so it sounds like you went through a lot of things whilst you got to this point. What would you say was one of your characteristics that made you actually pull through this difficult time?
I think it was just a question of perseverance. I said to myself, I can't fail in this. I had a lot at stake. Obviously, with my husband not bringing in any income, and he was studying, and we had 4 children. So it was just a fact of I didn't have a choice. I must tell you, I do think people go into that space, but it was, for me, it wasn't a choice. It was make it or break it, baby. I needed to push through to this. and get this done, because there was a lot of that's the funny part. I thought at that stage there was a lot at stake. But now I realize the more responsibility, the bigger you grow, the more responsibility you have, obviously. But yes, that was quite difficult. And obviously he started articling with me. That was great for our marriage. Great. Let me tell you that. Fantastic. But yes, so he finished his articles, and I remember when he got admitted as an attorney, I said to him, listen, but I don't have a present. Sorry, it's been hectic, because I still had like my third son breastfeeding. I couldn't even really watch because I was running into court because he started crying. I had to breastfeed in the court's bathroom. It was hectic. But I laughed at him. He says, don't worry, I'm just going to be partner. You don't need to buy me a present. So yeah, so that's where the whole thing started, actually, where we've grown today. Yes.
Yes.
Amazing.
So do you watch Suits?
Yes, I do.
Are you Harvey?
Who's Harvey? Yeah.
Who's Harvey?
If you met my husband, you would say he's Harvey. He's definitely the Harvey. He looks fantastic in a suit.
Yeah. And you will be Jessica then?
Yes, I will probably be, probably a combination of that. Yeah, yes.
So how realistic is that Suits to real attorney? I can see by the eye rolling, not that much.
Listen, I laugh every time, because obviously that is the first question most people ask me. And I would just start laughing, because that is just ridiculous. Did you see the inspector's desk? Did you see it? It's this fantastic desk. And when they grab a file, it's like a one-pager. It's like, throw it on the table. I'm like, are you serious? You must look at my office. I literally have a little space on my desk where I put a new file. But our desk, I will show you one day. If I take you to the back offices of an attorney, there is paperwork everywhere. So no, that is not what I would say is a true reflection is obviously dressing up, getting dressed, and that I would say, and obviously to have that professional atmosphere, yes, but no, no, definitely not, because our desks are full of files, it's lying on the floors, it's on top of cupboards, so no.
Yeah, it's funny when we look at it as well, like you mentioned, they chuck down this thing and it's just one paper like this, and then the guy opens it up, it's like, oh, so they are getting sued and they've got $1 billion in assets, and it's like, how do you get all of that from one paper? You looked at it for like 2 minutes.
Exactly. And the law is quite different as well. American law is quite different to South African law. So but you get the feeling of what it's about. Yeah.
Very cool. I don't know if Willie's frozen there. Looks like he's frozen. So you mentioned about the American law. Is that something that you guys would want to do, is practice in a different country? Is that something that's possible for you?
Yeah, so as a firm, not me specifically, but our firm, especially my husband, that's also now a director of Coetzee Attorneys, he loves doing international work, but more specifically in the arbitration side, you got lots of international clients that, or international firms that have clients in South Africa. And obviously, you need to get an expert or specialist that deals with South African law. So yes, definitely, we do assist clients with that as well, and international firms as well. Yes.
You can open up an office next to Harvey's office in Central Park.
Yes. And you can have tea with Jessica.
Looks like, yes.
Yeah. Then you can show him how it's supposed to be done. Willie, go for it.
Yeah, so Annerie, Eugene mentioned that you guys are running 3 businesses, and running 3 businesses at the same time is really no easy thing. How important would you say is a team to your success?
I know, very important. I couldn't have. We can't do what we do without our team. They are phenomenal. So it's such a privilege to be in a position where you have successful, capable, efficient people underneath you, that you are purely there just to make an impact or make a final decision. It's massive. It is massive. If you get to that stage in your business where you are that privileged to have successful or competent people below you, then that is great, but it doesn't always start that way. But yes, that is very important to any success or multiple teams of income. Yes.
Yeah. And then so a lot of the guys are on smaller businesses. It's guys that just started out, or they're sitting in a company and they've got this yearning to start a business. What advice would you give them if they want to start this business? Or what's some of the advice or tips that you'll give someone that wants to start their business?
Eugene, that's a very good question, because I thought it's in everybody's blood to start their own business. I really did. I thought, hey, this is simple. Let's do this. But I realized through the years, it's not that simple. Some people are satisfied, and that's great, to go and work and they get a salary, and that's fantastic, because we need people like that as well. And it's fantastic. And that's why I've got such a great support team, because people like that is needed in the industry. But starting your own business is not for the faint-hearted. Because I can remember my son was born on the Tuesday morning, and on the Wednesday I had a laptop in hospital on the bed. So you need to understand, starting your own business, it's a lot of sacrifices. You don't get the privileges of working for a boss, getting a salary, getting maternity leave, having that sense of security. So it's a constant thing. So perseverance in doing your own business, you need to push through. But the most important thing I would say is having a good basic, having good foundations. I mean, one of the first things I spent money on was a great accounting program for our practice.
Not Excel.
Not Excel, not that, because I've realized and then I get, obviously in our practice, we get a lot of young attorneys starting their own firm, and I'm getting these invoices and I'm thinking, what just happened? Because it is very important what you put out there. They don't necessarily know you're a small firm or you just started. So that was one of the major things, is getting a proper accounting system, making sure we've got an image out there, even if it was just me, creating the impression that we had several departments, while I had one phone and being reception, being everything. So it's having good foundations, and rather spend the money to have that accounting program or whatever is crucial to your industry. And the other second important thing is fee. I've realized there's a lot of guys going out there, they're doing the work, but they're not actually feeing, they're not invoicing, they're not sending out accounts. So that's major. If you're working yourself to the bone, but you're not seeing the results, I would go back to the basic and say, but are you actually sending your invoices? If you are not able to do that, get an accounting system that is at least able to assist you with that, because that's important.
I'm getting a big smile while you're talking about this. I think I must get you to come and speak to some of my clients.
No, but it is. It is. I've got people that's working for in different factors, and I have to remind them, please send me an invoice, because that's crucial. You have to understand, what are you offering, what is your price, and be able to send those invoices.
Yeah.
And that's something we see on a regular basis, Willie, is how, especially some of the clients that we work with, then they're in constant cash flow issues, but they're not invoicing their work, and they're not following up on their payments, and they're not invoicing what they're supposed to, and they keep doing favors. And it's something that you mentioned as well, Annerie, I think is a big thing, is the perseverance. Because there's this passage out there that starting your own business, then you're going to work 9 to 3, and you're going to have all this free time, and you're going to have all the money in the world. And that's kind of the perception that's out there, and it's not like that. It's hard work. I mean, if you think of all the sacrifices, there's that saying, if you want something that someone else doesn't have, you have to do what they're not willing to do. And that's what entrepreneurship is about. And that's why I agree, is not everyone's cut out. And that's okay. Whatever your thing is, that's cool. What makes you happy? And that's the path that you should choose. Because entrepreneurship's hard. It's lonely. You have to make a lot of sacrifices. I mean, all of us, how many months have you gone without having your salary? That there's no cash flow, that you go without salary, and the staff still gets their salary, and the landlord gets their stuff, and you sitting for a month or 2 or 3 without getting money. There's a lot of sacrifices. It's not just all the glamour. And then when you get to the point where you're successful, where you are now, then it's like, oh, but you're lucky.
Yes, exactly.
I was breastfeeding outside of court, so don't tell me anything about luck.
Exactly. And people, I mean, yes, I must tell you, we've been in practice now for 11 years. And I mean, such a simple thing. I mean, only last year we paid, as directors, we got bonuses. But I've never had a bonus prior to that. Because I always say, if you work for someone, that's great. You worry about you, but your employer or somebody like me, like you guys, you worry about 13 or 14 or 25 or 100 livelihoods, families.
Yep.
So that's a massive thing. And I mean, there was months where Jaco and I used to pay everybody first, and then we would wait and say, listen, where's the money? And I mean, I had, in the time of my own practice, I had 4 kids. I never had the privilege of staying at home and bonding with my kids for 4 months. Only on my daughter, my last baby, I could take off 2 weeks, because by then we had a support system. So it's not easy. I mean, you do get a lot of slip about, oh, you're your own boss, you don't have to go, you don't have to apply for leave. Listen, when I go on leave, I have to take my computer with me. It's not where you as work for a boss. You switch off your computer, you go, you have a ball. It's not like that. It's only now being successful where we are now, it is more relaxed, yes, but it's because we have competent people that we've trained and put in the time. But no, it's not easy. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, yes.
I remember as well going to the beach. We went to Belito probably 8 years ago, and the kids and everyone playing on the beach, and I go down to the beach and I'm sitting with my laptop on the beach under an umbrella, busy working.
It is.
And
I mean, I could remember if I would I have to now, for example, because Jaco was studying, and then I have to take the kids to the doctor. So I would have my one little Neotel phone, this Moorse phone. I didn't know how to divert this phone to my cell phone. So this thing is in my handbag. So then it would ring, and I have to answer this, and then I have to say, oh, no, sorry, it's bring your kids to school, to work day. So sorry for the kids in the background. I mean, that's what you needed to do, because you couldn't create the impression you this one-man show, because people also have a perception of that. So that was quite difficult breaking through that, yes.
Did you speak funny when you were acting as if you're the secretary?
Yeah, give us your secretary voice.
I was just like a very high pitch. I would like answer the phone and say, Coetzee Attorneys, good morning. And then they would say, can I please speak? I said, no problem, I'll put you through. And then I put the phone, I would just hold the phone, and then I go, account
no. The creativity of entrepreneurs, but you need to do what you need to do to make the things happen,
We were at one stage, we got, we started employing, I mean, obviously Jaco started working, and we had like an article clerk. I got my first article clerk, and we had to, because obviously we've been working from home. So then we moved, and we moved, and there was a space that we could convert into an office. But this was outside garages, so we couldn't move because we had to do some tiling and just revamp it. So the desks obviously was now all stored away. So we had to take the desk on the top section. We place it on like your bedroom pedestals, okay? So in that time I had like a little reception lady. So the four of us literally sat in a 3x6 meter room with this tabletops with no legs that's on bed still. And we had one phone, okay? So then one would answer, and then we would say, okay, can I please speak to Mrs. Coetzee? No problem. Then we would say, okay, we're just transferring you. Then we would run with the phone, and give the phone to the next person. But we had little tables on top of each other, and that's how we started. I mean, that's how it all began.
Yeah, young. Annerie, I've got one last question before we get to a special section. The special section is called the hot seat.
Oh, we didn't tell you about the special section.
Oh,
right?
goodness.
Thanks, guys.
Goodness. So, yeah, Annerie, thanks so much. But before we jump into the hot seat stuff, one last question from me. Just 3 short answers. If there's 3 nuggets of advice you can give guys that's starting out their businesses, what would that be?
Having a good supporting system, whether that is an accounting program or what's crucial to your industry, spend the money. Never underestimate yourself. Don't sell yourself short because you started your own business. It's a hard thing. And I would say when you start employing people, employ proper people. Rather pay that extra money for somebody that's maybe more qualified or more experienced, than thinking you don't have the money because you just started. That's one of the things that I would have changed, is rather spend more money on my staff when I started. So I would say that, yes. I had one advice. I usually said, if you would pay someone, let's say 15,000 Rand, will you be able to make 40 or 50,000 Rand? So that's one of the crucial questions, and I would have done that differently that time, yes.
Wow, that's really great advice. I think we struggle quite often getting that right. And Eugene, I mean, we often speak about the team. We actually had this conversation yesterday about this exact topic. So, Annerie, thanks so much. So before we jump in the hot seat, if anyone wants to work with you or get in touch with you, where do they get hold of you?
Well, we are situated in Roodepoort in the West Rand, but obviously because we can do consult, we work all over. You don't need to be in the West Rand to use our services. We consult via Voom, not Voom, via Voom as well. Microsoft Teams, not
Voom and Zoom.
Voom.
Maybe that's a new idea. But you can visit our website, www.coetzee-attorneys.co.za. We've got a very active Facebook page. We've got a Coetzee, we've got an Instagram page, and obviously you can get hold of us by sending us an email. So, but you'll get all that details from our website.
Awesome stuff. Thanks, Annie. Thanks for joining. And now we move into a section which we call the hot seat. So it's just 4 or 5 questions, random questions, and no explanation needed. Just 1 or 2 words answers the first thing that pops into your head. So I'll go first. When is your first public speaking gig going to be?
Sorry, you got caught. I didn't hear you. Just repeat the question.
When's your first public speaking gig?
Next year. You see, what popped up in my mind? Next year.
You're doing so good. You need to be I can see you being a thought leader or inspirational speaker or something like that. You've achieved so much. People can learn from you. I think you're missing your calling. You need to be on stage speaking to people.
Thank you, Eugene, but I'm still working on that one. But thank you.
Something from my side on a lighter note. VP of Blaubulle.
Near, dude. Near. Sharks all the way. Sharks.
Oh.
Sorry, sharks. I can't. I will betray my sharks now.
First or favorite place in South Africa to visit?
I would say by the sea, Belito. I enjoy the sea very much. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, so really lucky.
Cool. Next one from me. If you could give your 21-year self advice, what would that be?
That's a good question. That's a good question. If I would give myself 21-year advice, I would probably say, I wanted to say, don't do this, what I'm doing now. I really would. I would like maybe. I would just say and celebrate life more. I mean, obviously, when I was 21, I did celebrate life, but I mean, I've realized as I've grown, we've started missing that. Especially guys in their own businesses. We need to celebrate life more, and we need to find the balance between work and play, because that's a massive thing. Because I mean, obviously, with your own business, you work random hours. If your partner is obviously with you in business, you talk about work a lot. And we've made a simple decision last year just to go camping with the kids. And I mean, I've been doing this for over 11 years now, and I said to Eugene the other day, I said, that is the first time I felt there's balance in my life, that I work hard, but I also enjoy time with my family. So I would say celebrating more and actually just finding that balance. Work is important, yes, but it's not more important than your family.
Yep.
Yeah. One thing that's on your bucket list.
I want to go to Disneyland with my kids. Very much.
Be the kid.
Wow.
I want to go to Disneyland, and I have been to New York, but I want to take my kids. I think they would love that. But yes, Disneyland with my kids. Yes.
Lekker. So yeah, that's the end of the show, Annerie. Amazing. Thank you for taking some time out. For the viewers, thank you for pitching up. Hey, without you, there won't be a show. Hope you've learned one thing today. Van, the man, my co-presenter. Always pleasure seeing you.
Yeah, so guys, maybe pop in the comments. What's the one thing that stood out for you? What's the one thing that you learned? So remember, small actions over a long period of time makes a massive impact. What's one thing? What's the one thing? And something you can action, something that you can do straight away to do it. Annerie, thanks for joining the show. It was an absolute pleasure. I think you're a really inspiring businesswoman. You should maybe do this a bit more often. But thanks for coming onto the show and sharing your wisdom with us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. And I would really urge all of you to join Willie and Eugene's mastermind. I really do think what they're doing is quite crucial. And if I knew there was such a support system when I started my own business, I think I would have been much further than I am now. So I would really encourage you guys, especially if you're starting off and not sure, but even for the guys that are successful, I think it's always important to humble yourself and learn from each other. So I think it's good. But thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks for that feedback. Thanks, Annerie. Thanks, Willie. And until next week's show, 4 o'clock on Facebook and YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. See you on our next show, guys. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.